All right, guys, welcome back. Well, let's take a look at the logs that we had in the kiln. So I actually had it in here 6 days, and you can tell. I mean, look at the nice cracks on these. I mean, even that big piece. I mean, they're all cracked. Like, look at that. That's cracked all the way down. This is the one that we split, if you remember. Nice. All cracks. Cracks. This big piece, okay, I can't see, it's too dark, but so every single piece is definitely cracked. Like, I mean, look at that. That's all the way down. And if you remember from the first video, none of these had any surface cracks whatsoever, so that's good. So I took out 2 pieces. So this one was sitting right next to the other one, roughly the same size. It was a little bit bigger, and then this one was obviously bigger, but it had a, you can see this crack pretty much ran the whole way. So now, like I said, I'm not expecting this to be much drier, if any, in the inside, but let's see if you guys can see this. This is dead center. I don't know if you can see that, but that says 24. That was the bigger piece. Now let's take this one. You can see the split right here. They didn't go very far, but like, so we'll do the outside. Nothing. But you do the middle, yeah, 24. So that's kind of what I was expecting. So it definitely dried it. The logs, I mean, it probably lost, like, I wish I had a scale. I gotta see if I can find like a hanging scale where I could hang the whole tote from my forks or something. So, I mean, it definitely dried. It just didn't dry the inside of the logs, but that's to be expected. I mean, they're not split. So, it's hard to say. So, if it went in, we'll just roughly say 1/4 of the log, you know, is bone dry. The middle got a little bit drier. I mean, I can tell by picking up the logs, they're a lot lighter. That's kind of the results I was thinking. Now, if I would have, you know, bumped it up to 140, 150, would they still be wet inside? Yeah, of course, but it'd be maybe another 5-6% lower. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I know I can throw that in the boiler and it'll burn, no problem. I'll just put, you know, 3-4 of those pieces on top of my split wood, and it'll burn just fine. So I'm probably gonna start burning that maybe today. Of course, it's raining, and today we're actually we're processing a bunch of hickory. So, or I should say, we're cutting and splitting it because they're just gigantic pieces. But I'm gonna get these out of the kiln, get them in here. I'll have to rearrange some stuff. Just get them in here for now because I don't have room to stick it next to the boiler at the moment. And then we'll kind of look at some pieces, like the bigger pieces, the smaller ones, and see what they look like. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, let's take a look at what we got. So these 2 here are the furthest ones in. So these have the biggest, well, this definitely has the biggest rounds. So that one's obviously a little punky there, but look at the big cracks on that. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, obviously it's drying, but for it to crack wide open, you know, it's gonna take a bit. I mean, look at that. So that's, I don't know if this is moisture. No. So, I mean, it's nice. I mean, that's really nice. Here we go. So, here's a huge piece, considering this is all one. And obviously these are going to be, there's nothing to those, but this should be bone dry, yeah. So, I don't know, it was a good test. I mean, it's kind of what I was expecting. Now, if I left them in there probably another week, so say 2 weeks total, yeah, they would be well under 20, I would assume, at 120 degrees. Will I do it again? Probably not. It's just a test I wanted to do. Like I said, I have enough boiler wood that I could have just let these, yeah, I could have cut them, split them. I just didn't really want to. I mean, a lot of these were kind of punky. somewhat. They're small enough that, you know, if I toss them in, intermix with my splitter, my split wood, it should be fine, you know, because there's some small, like little logs and stuff that I'm not going to cut and split that, right? I mean, stuff like this here, that's all real small, you know, this little branch, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if I don't think I'll dry any logs like that ever again. But they are dry enough now for sure to toss and intermix, like I said, with my split wood. You know, so for 6 days at 120, it obviously dried. It was drying, so it's good. I mean, I'm pleased with the results. I guess, you know, I'm sure. I mean, this just feels right. You know, this one's probably pretty dry. You know, look at the crack on this. You know, it's dry enough to burn, so. You know, obviously doesn't dry as well as, you know, split wood. I don't know what it is. Whenever I dry wood, I mean, mainly this is all sugar maple, a little bit of ash, they always turn a little brown. I like how it looks. I don't know if that's just like the bakingness of the wood. I mean, let me know if you guys know, unless that's just like the color that I don't know. I mean, it looks good, you know, so, but you can tell though, all of this stuff when I pulled it out was cracked really nice. I don't know if it's because when it cools back down, it like re-shrinks. I don't know. Because all that stuff was all cracked real nice. I mean, it's all dry. I mean, there isn't much to those. Like really dry. So, I don't know. I'm happy about it. So yeah, if you guys, you know, are considering building a kiln and you got a traditional boiler and you want to get those rounds down a little bit without putting a lot of strain on your boiler, you can do it. Like I said, I mean, you could tell I had the kiln running because obviously from time to time it's calling for heat, but it wasn't bad. Now that I turned it off, you know, my boiler runs barely at all. So yeah, no, that's kind of the results. I mean, it's what I was expecting. You know, so the outer layer of the wood I would assume is really dry, practically to zero, as I showed you. Inside's probably going to be still pretty wet, but as it burns, yeah, there's still going to be moisture in the box. But I can deal with mid-20s, that's fine. The gasification boilers can handle that. They have settings that it's like 26 plus the moisture content, so you can kind of see, here we go. You can see the ring probably of where it's bone dry, right? I'm assuming that's kind of how it is. This is probably a pretty good piece to see that. It's all nice when it's really warm. But then you got, look at it, see that real punkiness. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I mean, I know a lot of you guys follow along and want to see that, so that's kind of the results I got. It dried. Did it dry in the middle? Not so much. Obviously that's why, like when I do, you know, production wood, kiln dried wood, I crank it up to 150, up to 160 depending on the species if it's a denser wood. That way I know I can get the inside baked. That way it really, really dries. But so yeah, I guess if you put split wood in, if it's even bigger chunks, you know, if you had it at 120 for say 7 days, it's gonna dry real nice. Or even if you could only get it up to 100 or 110, it's gonna dry. A lot of it's all airflow. Obviously the airflow in my kiln works really well, so I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's a pretty simple setup that I have. You probably can't see much, but you know, 2 in the fans in the bottom, 2 on the top, big heater in the middle, you know, insulated, whatever. So extraction fan for the moisture goes right out to outside. That's monitored with all the probes and whatnot. So it works for me. Obviously it's all heated with my outdoor boiler with all the PEX lines that comes in here, you know, so it works. It's just every test is, or every batch of wood that goes in there is really just a test, you know. So, but typically production wood, like I said before in my other videos, 5 days full out heat is really what it takes. First 3 days, the humidity levels inside the kiln doesn't change much because as you're heating the wood, all the moisture is coming out, and I continually suck it out the whole time. So, and then after that, it drops pretty quick. if you can get it down to humidity in the air below 15%, it's dry. It's really dry. I mean, it's just not gonna, it'd be different if I could get the kiln to get up to 180 or so, then I could get it. But you don't, there's no need to get the wood that dry. I mean, that would be like paper dry. You know, it'd be just ridiculous. So, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of the difference, how my drying process differs versus that. Like I said, I'll probably never do that again. Unless I'm strapped for wood and I gotta dry wood really quick, but I would just split it and then dry it like this. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think, and as always, keep burning.